I can speak. Osamu Dazai. Suffering, it's the night of endurance, resignation in the morning. This world, is it perhaps a duty to resign oneself? A stoic acceptance of desolation. Thus does youth decay, day by day, like worm-eaten wood. And happiness. It was something I finally found, hidden in the narrow alleys of poverty. My poetry lost its voice. For a while, I drifted in Tokyo, idle and aimless. Then gradually, I began to scribble something not quite poetry, but what you might call the murmurs of daily life. As I continued writing in that quiet, muttering voice, my own work began to show me the path my literature should take. So this is the way. With something like confidence beginning to stir, I decided to embark on the long novel I had been quietly planning for some time. Last September, I rented the second floor of a tea house called Tenkachaya at the summit of the Misaka Pass in Koshu. There, little by little, I continued my work. Eventually, I had written nearly 100 pages. Reading it back, it didn't seem too bad. With a fresh sense of determination, I made a vow, not to return to Tokyo until I had finished this novel. That vow was foolish. September passed, then October, November, and the cold of Misaka became unbearable. Those were days filled with lonely nights. I was lost in hesitation. It was a promise I'd made to myself. And now, I couldn't bring myself to break it. I longed to rush back to Tokyo, but doing so felt like a betrayal, a moral collapse. There I was, stranded on the mountain pass. I decided instead to descend to Kofu. Kofu was warmer than Tokyo. I figured I could survive the winter there. I came down, and I was saved. That strange cough went away. On the outskirts of Kofu, I found a cheap boarding house. I rented a sunlit room, sat down at a desk, and thought, this is good. I resumed my work, bit by bit. Around midday, as I sat muttering alone over my writing, a chorus of young women's voices floated in. I set down my pen and listened. Just across a narrow alley from the boarding house was a silk factory. The women workers sang as they worked. Among them, one voice stood out, unmistakably clear. She led the song like a solitary crane among chickens. What a beautiful voice, I thought. I even felt like thanking her. I wanted to climb over the factory wall, just to catch a glimpse of the girl who sang like that. There was a lonely man here myself, and I cannot begin to say how much your singing saved me day after day. You don't know it. You have no idea how deeply you've encouraged me in my work, how bravely and sincerely you've cheered me on. I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart. At one point, I even thought of scribbling those words down and tossing the letter through a window of the factory. But then what if I startled her? What if, frightened and flustered, she lost her voice? If my gratitude were to muddy the purity of her unselfconscious song, that would be a kind of sin. And so I fretted over it alone. Perhaps it was love. It was February, a quiet, bitterly cold night. Suddenly, loud drunken shouting echoed through the alley beside the factory. I strained my ears. Hey, don't make fun of me. What's so damn funny? Just 'cause I had a little drink. I'm not someone you get to laugh at. I can speak English. I go to night school. You know that? You didn't know that, did you? I haven't told Mom either. I go in secret, 'cause I have to become somebody. Hey, what's so funny? Why are you laughing like that? Listen, sis. I'm gonna go to war soon. Don't be surprised when I do. Even your drunkard of a little brother can pull his weight. That's a lie. I haven't been called up yet. But still, I can speak English. Can you speak English? Yes, I can. Isn't English great? Tell me, sis, just tell me straight. I'm a good kid, aren't I? Come on, I am, right? Mom doesn't understand a thing. I slid open the paper screen just a crack and looked down into the alley. At first, I thought I saw white plum blossoms blooming. But no, it was the boy's white raincoat. Out of season in its whiteness, he stood there shivering, pressed flat against the factory wall. And, from above, a girl was leaning halfway out of a window, staring down at him. The moon was out, but I couldn't quite make out their faces. The girls looked round, faintly glowing white, as if she were smiling. The boy's face was dark, still childlike. That drunken voice, muttering, "I can speak," pierced me with aching force. In the beginning was the Word, and all things were made through it. It felt like remembering a forgotten song. A trivial little scene, really, and yet, to me, unforgettable. Was that girl that night the same one with the beautiful voice? I'll never know. Probably not.